Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Geekbeef Gaming. I'm Andy Beef.
I'm Josh Beef.
And I am Derek from VaguelyScientific.
He is our guest today.
Derek Beef.
Derek Beef from VaguelyScientific. He's joining us today as our guest for Geekbeef Gaming Episode 1. Today we'll be talking about lots of new things.
Episode 2.
Did I say 1?
You said 1.
Episode 3.
Episode 74. This is Geekbeef Gaming Episode 2.
Geekbeef Gaming Episode 2. We've got lots of new things to talk about after some news this week about some cool things and stuff with Nintendo and the PlayStations and stuff.
And we'll see you next time.
This is Geekbeef.
Is that really what we're trying to transition with? Alright, that's where the jump cut comes in. Alright,
So, Derek from VaguelyScientific, tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what VaguelyScientific is.
VaguelyScientific is. Well, I am the less scientific half of our podcast. It is myself.
He's the vague part.
He's the vague part.
I'm the vague part.
I was going to say that.
This podcast is hosted by myself and Jim, the Science Jim.
Ion Jones.
Yeah, from Ion Jones fame.
You can learn about that later.
Listen to the podcast. You'll hear all about it. It's a bi-weekly podcast. I think that means every other week, where we put a scientific spin on ridiculous questions, such as, if magic existed, would we have ever invented guns?
It's quite a interesting conversation, really.
Thank you.
Definitely check out the VaguelyScientific podcast. When will your next episode be coming up?
It will be coming out October 3rd, and it can be found on iTunes and Stitcher and VaguelyScientific.com.
Very nice.
Is the podcast itself called Vaguely Scientific?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
I almost added the .com at the end of that. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely a great show. Check it out. I really enjoyed it myself. We're looking forward to more Vaguely Scientific conversations. Right, Josh Beef?
Right, Andy Beef.
Awesome.
So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
This week, PlayStation, or Sony, with their PlayStation stuff, announced the PlayStation Classic, which is a take, and...
I mean, in my opinion, kind of just a straight-up rip-off.
Yeah, but Sony does that with everything Nintendo does.
That's true.
I wouldn't want to say
just,
that, but it kind of is.
Isn't that just video games in general?
Well, this is specifically with like the repackaging of an old loved system in like a new compact way to do it.
Well, first Nintendo did the NES Classic.
There was a Genesis.
And then they did the Super Nintendo
The NES Classic was the first thing I ever did a midnight release for. It was the first time I ever participated. And it was really cool. And it was a good experience. And then the Super Nintendo came out, and then now they're announcing Sony with this one. I have my personal thoughts about it.
You know what?
I guess I'll just share them.
I've got personal thoughts too.
No way.
This is the personal thoughts
segment. Personal thoughts.
There we go.
Sony edition. No.
Sony edition.
Oh,
I can't you play like literally every PS1 game
Whoa.
on like
Wait.
every...
You can't say that. We are not condoning any type of thing like that.
I don't think he's
There's
talking about
ways
piracy.
to play.
No, I'm not talking...
He's talking about backwards compatibility.
I'm not talking about anything illegal. There are ways to do that through emulators and that sort of thing. We don't condone that. We don't condone any illegal ways of obtaining games.
The PS2, you could play PS1 games on PS2.
You can also play PS1 games on PS3 and PS4, PS Vita, and PSP through their virtual store.
I thought you couldn't on PS2.
Now, do you have
through their store?
Oh, okay.
Though, optical disc-wise, PS2 and PS3 could play PS1 games. I don't know about the PS4, but I know that they're obtainable on the PlayStation Store.
It's not only that, but they're also on the PlayStation Vita and the PSP.
Yeah.
You could play PS1 games on as well.
Yeah.
But you're not making much of a point because Nintendo's the same exact way.
Pardon me.
Because they put NES and Super NES games on the Wii, the 3DS, the original DS. They all had these games on them.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, the virtual consoles and everything. Even right now with Nintendo's new Switch
service. And we'll get into that later. We'll get into that a bit later.
But yeah, it's mostly it's cool because they're trying to bring back some classic games to some people that may not have ever heard of them. Maybe some people can't afford a PS4 or PS3, or maybe just never saw that they could get them on these consoles.
Sure.
And giving them an opportunity. I think it's mostly for fans that have played these games before to go back and play them again.
That's what a lot of the Nintendo classics were. It's
Yeah.
just a fun thing to collect.
Yeah, it's a collector's item too. I mean, we all collect Nintendo stuff.
Josh over here
Sony
hates
stuff.
it because he hates fun.
I hate fun. No, that is not true at all. That was just a joke. Something that's kind of interesting to me, though, is that did the NES and the Super Nintendo, both the classics, both were $60? Sorry, that was a lot of wordage.
I don't know that.
Were they both 60?
I believe the Super Nintendo Classic was 80.
80.
The
Okay.
NES Classic
so
was
60 with the NES, 80 with the Super NES, and then this one, the Sony Classic.
It's a generation ahead too,
Okay.
because you look at the Nintendo 60. If you think about a Nintendo 64 Classic, which is rumored, which we'll get to, I'm expecting it to be probably closer to the $100 range as well, because it's in that same generation.
We don't know that.
That would make sense. Yeah. Did you play the PlayStation 1 when you were younger?
I did.
Okay. Did you have like a favorite game from it?
Oh, not that I remember.
Well, going into that, the PlayStation Classic will come with 20 games. They've only announced 5 of them so far. Those games are Final Fantasy VII, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms.
All
So that's
of those
15
were great games.
Yeah, great games. There's 15 more that we don't know about.
Right.
What games are we hoping to see on there? Me personally,
Metal Gear.
I gotta see Metal Gear Solid,
Metal Gear, sure.
original.
Yeah.
I've got to see Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is like
Was
my
that
favorite
originally
game
PlayStation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, only PlayStation. Maybe I love Legend of Dragoon. That was a Sony game.
I would say I don't know
So
how Legend of Dragoon.
I don't know if they'll put it on
fantastic.
there, but it'd be amazing to
Well,
see.
they're
it.
putting Final Fantasy VII on, and it was kind of made to compete directly.
Yeah, like how much space is this thing going to
Really?
hold?
Right?
Yeah.
Is that a big game?
But that's the thing is Final Fantasy VII was a Square Enix game. So
I'd
they've
like
got
to
third-party
see-
games in here, whereas Legend of Dragoon was PlayStation
Yeah.
with a third party helping make it.
They've got Tekken 3. I started with Tekken 2, so Tekken 3 is a solid choice. I'd like to see a game from the Battle Arena Toshinden franchise, which is, I don't know how well known those are, but they were ones I grew up with.
I don't know it at all.
It's a 3D fighter from the PSX era.
Old
Interesting.
game. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm curious of how many more fighters will they put on there. Tekken 3 is a given.
Like, you don't need a whole lot of fighters if you have
Yeah.
one, but
Well, I always instantly go back when I think of PlayStation to the demo. I used to have a demo disc from Pizza Hut.
I missed the demo disc.
From
I
Pizza
loved the
Hut.
demo
Yeah.
discs.
And this demo disc had Tekken 3. It had a trailer for Metal Gear Solid 1. It had a trailer for Resident Evil 2 on it.
Well, that's Capcom. I doubt they're going to get
And that's what I learned about so many of these games. Me and my friends stayed up for
don't know.
like 6
It could
hours
be.
one night playing the demo for Tekken 3. It had Eddie Gordo and it had Ling Xiaoyu in it. I think Paul was unlockable in the demo, which was kind
That's
of crazy.
interesting.
Yeah. But it was awesome, and we loved. That was like my first introduction to fighting games, really.
I'm kind of wondering if like the Crash Bandicoot series will be represented because they just came out with
Right.
The trilogy.
the trilogy, the remastered.
I can see them putting the first one on there. That's the thing is like Symphony of the Night. They're recently announced that is coming to PS4. Rondo of Blood and Castlevania Requiem Symphony of the Night are both coming to PS4 soon.
Rondo of Blood. Is this the first time it's coming to America?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't quote us on that one, but I'm pretty sure.
Quote.
I was
them.
thinking that they would maybe with the classic they would input some previously unavailable games on it. That it is the classic. So that's to me like the biggest reason.
Those aren't
That was a big
classic to
thing.
us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure, but like it'd still be cool to like play the games that you had heard about.
Right. Well, like Earthbound. Earthbound was such an unplayed game. It was a huge hit,
Right.
but not a lot of people got a chance to play it because it was super rare
Yeah.
and just hard to find, So what will they do with the PlayStation Classic that could bring some of that into it? Another one, Spyro the Dragon. Again, it's coming out with the reignited version of those coming up in December, I think. Mm-hmm. And will they put it on the PlayStation Classic?
Spyro's coming to Switch, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It is.
I believe so.
Cool. Yep. I'm just like, I'm so out of the loop on the Sony, and I didn't grow up with it either. So I'm like sitting here like just watching you guys, and I'm like grasping onto anything I can
do
to like talk about it.
You played the Crash Bandicoot trilogy.
I did, yeah. I'm still in the middle of that, but that's the closest I've come to.
I can do the nostalgia.
PS1.
I can't do the hey, this is what's coming out this month. I'm like, what? There are still video games?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What was the other one? The game with the cars. You drive around the cars with weapons on
Twisted
them.
Metal.
Twisted Metal. That's got to be on there.
Love that.
Twisted
It was
Metal's not
terrible.
on there.
It was a terrible game, but I loved it.
Yeah, and then the follow-up for the other company was Vigilante 8.
I haven't heard of that one.
You've never played
I've
Vigilante
never
8?
played Vigilante.
Is that the 8th one in the series?
No,
No,
it
there's
was
just-
like it was like a crappier version of Twisted Metal.
Oh.
And then Star Wars, Lucas Arts did a version called Star Wars Demolition. That was the same.
What?
That was the same as Vigilante
I
8
had not
and
heard of
Twisted
that.
Metal Black.
Okay.
That's the one that I had, and I loved it. The music in that game was amazing. Cue the music.
It might be copyright.
All right, stop. Yeah, that's true. All right, never mind. We'll do something. So next is staying in the vein of the classic, bringing the classics back.
Wait,
like that
before
one,
we
didn't
get
you?
there.
Okay.
So, what games would you like to see on the PlayStation Classic?
Let us
Please
know
leave
in the
your comments
comments
below, and if you have
Well,
any,
if you have
what
any,
your opinions
what
are
your
about
opinions
it.
are about it. So in the same vein of the classics and the minis and whatnot, sorry to just like totally cut you off, but the N64 Classic. Now my first thought.
Wait, it's just rumored right now.
It's just rumored. That's totally true.
It happened to be leaked.
Well, that
on
changes
Euro's
everything.
thing.
I'm out of here.
Now, is it really a rumor if it's leaked? Is it because it's a potential rumor or is it a potential leak?
Someone
it's not
said
confirmed
that
yet?
they saw a leak of it, so it's not officially announced. We all know it's going to happen. I mean,
Well,
come
Nintendo
on.
did take out a copyright claim on N64 and like that same kind of thing a year ago, didn't they? So the only reason that they would do that I would think was to
I imagine they did it like 20 years ago when the N64
No,
came out.
I know, but like they
Probably.
renewed it, I believe.
I think
I don't know.
copyright
Something
lasts
about it,
90
you
years,
can, like-
I think.
Anyway, they did something. They did something with the copyright of the N64, and so people took that as they must be making a classic like they did with the NES and the Super NES.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
was a
know
while ago.
that the Charleston, the copyright on the Charleston is expiring at the end of this year?
The dance?
The song that the dance is based on?
No way.
Yeah.
We need to steal that.
We need
Right?
to steal that.
I mean,
Like New Year's,
Legally
it's
get it.
yours.
we need to legally obtain the rights to the Charleston song.
and call it the Beaverston.
The Beaverston. Now, I just want to get my first thought out there. So for the N64 Classic, only rumored, nothing confirmed, but I've always been curious about the controller. Obviously,
Of the N64?
it's the biggest controller Nintendo or like any game company has made.
Dreamcast.
What do you mean biggest?
Besides the Dreamcast.
You mean like shape-wise?
Like shape-wise, like they could make it smaller if they wanted to, but like that's
The
something that
Xbox,
or they could do
original
something
Xbox.
totally different.
Had Duke.
Original Xbox controller was like this big.
Yeah,
Well,
the
that's
Duke.
true.
It was this big, and they recently re-released it.
Oh, did
but yes,
they?
the Nintendo 64 controller was absolutely
It's
ridiculous, but awesome.
It's
Sure.
the only one shaped. It's the shape that is odd about the.
What I remember about the
Sure,
Nintendo
yeah.
64 controller is in the original trailer for Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, it opened with what looked like a Star Destroyer flying through the sky on a screen with Star Wars music.
I remember that. You
And
showed
it was
me that,
actually
yeah.
a Nintendo 64 controller floating
Yeah.
onto the screen
I think that
through
it
space
was,
because it looked like a spaceship.
it was designed with arcade shooters in mind,
Yeah.
so you could hold it like a gun.
That makes sense. That makes
That was
sense.
the.
Now,
It was not a good idea.
I love it.
it was interesting. So
It was weird, though.
So I recently, actually, just 2 days ago, played Super Smash Bros. 64 for the first time.
Whoa!
That was
Like
really
the original.
the original 64 on the yeah.
That was my
Okay.
It was
jam.
really an interesting experience because before
With all
that
4 characters in it.
It had 6.
it had 6 and then it had 4 unlockable after that.
Oh, okay.
But that was my first really cohesive intake of the 64 controller because the only time I played it was when I was a little bit younger and I played some Mario 64 at my friend's house. And that I couldn't formulate an opinion. I just did it and I played it and I liked it. But with the actual controller,
an
it
opinion.
was my opinion. Don't get mad. What's your favorite controller? Let us know in the comments from which generation or
I
whatever.
was just saying because you said you couldn't formulate it.
I couldn't formulate a cohesive, a coherent is I guess better opinion of what the controller felt like. A lot of people don't like the thinness of the joystick, which I can understand. But something that I can't remember if it was a rumor or just an idea a fan had, but it was like making a remade 64 controller that's that is more up to date with the current style, but still having everything that you like, which is not the same thing as just an interesting take on a GameCube controller. It's like genuinely a 64 controller, but more formatted to a current layout.
I'm guessing they'll make it completely identical, but I'm hoping they do something about the joystick that it doesn't whack out. Because what would happen is the Nintendo 64 controllers, the joystick was the only thing that went bad on them. It'd get really loose, and then it would just drift, but you'd be able to like move it, and it wouldn't do anything in the game. It would just be so loose.
Right.
And there wasn't really a good way to fix that. I'm hoping they just add some extra security on it to add a little bit of an extra.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely think there will be a hardware upgrade. It just kind of has to be. And this, for all we know, could be released before the end of the year.
Yeah, they're saying the rumored date is December, just sometime in December.
Which is kind of funny because the concept as a whole is still rumored itself.
Right. Okay.
So, but let us know what games you guys want to see.
No, wait, we haven't even talked about what games we want to see.
They're still allowed to let us know.
I don't want them to let us know until they hear what we want.
Shut up.
You wait your turn.
Come on, guys.
Fraznov.
Andy Beef needs to speak first.
All right, well, Andy Beef, what would you like to see?
Oh, thank you for asking,
on the
Josh.
N64 Classic.
Obviously, we got to see The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Of course.
I'd be surprised if we didn't.
That's no
something
doubt.
I'm sorry to interject.
I thought you were asking me.
I'm really sorry to interject.
I wanted to know what you.
Please, Josh,
but now that
interject away.
Now that you're telling us the opinion, I kind of want to just expand on the single game. I'm not going to talk about mine yet, but I was thinking about Ocarina of Time and how much of still a beloved game it is, not only to the regular fan base but also speedrunning communities. That game is still worth a lot. And obviously, it's like, you can't not. But a thought is like, how are they going to do that in good conscience? Like, just let all that money go. Like, I feel like Nintendo would be, like, losing money, almost.
No, I mean, it's not losing. I mean, they're selling a console for $100 for these games that they don't make or sell anymore, really. They have virtual consoles, but with the current generation of the console, they're not really having a said virtual console.
And to be fair, the speedrunning community is still going to want to see games played on original consoles.
Not to mention, we've already bought Ocarina of Time on our Nintendo 64.
3DS.
We might have played it on your GameCube when you bought Wind Waker, and it came with the
double
full
pack
game, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. They re-released it on the 3DS, which we've all played it on there. So at this point, it's like, how many more time? We bought it on the virtual console on our Wii's.
That's a good point.
You know, so really how many more times do we need to buy it before? But again, Legends of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is, in my opinion, the best game ever made. Okay. It's not my favorite game, but it's just one of those games that everyone should have played at some point. And if they haven't, go play it, you know?
So, Ocarina of Time. What else?
Oh, obviously, GoldenEye. Everyone played GoldenEye back on the 1064. I'm curious to see if they'll put Conker's Bad Fur Day. Will they put an M-rated game like that on the N64 Classic? I can't see them doing that.
Well, on that note,
that's an interesting thought.
I think you're going to probably see Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie will be on there.
I mean, they're basically the same.
Do you guys
Mario 64 will be on there.
No doubt.
Do you think that Donkey Kong, the 3D Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong 64?
Donkey Kong 64?
If Donkey Kong 64 is not on it, then I won't buy it.
You won't buy it?
It has to have Donkey Kong 64. I'm not buying it.
Well,
you heard me, Nintendo.
Take it as
Donkey
it is.
Kong 64 or nothing.
You will lose that one all-important sale.
Come on, if Andy Beef doesn't buy the Nintendo 64 Classic, who's going to buy it?
Right?
I'm not, if you're not.
What other games? Wave Racer 64, I can see that being one of them. Jet Force Gemini was another rare game that, I don't know if you guys played Jet Force Gemini. Love that game. It doesn't look like either of you have really heard about it.
This one's to Shalashaska.
I have not.
Right.
Is that in Wave Racer the same type of game? Or am I just like totally showing my ignorance?
What?
They both sound like water.
Wave Racer's a racing game. Jet Force Gemini is actually a shooter.
I'm thinking of Jet Ski.
Jet Force Gemini was a third-person shooter.
Disregard.
Where, like, the world is over... There, you have to save all these teddy bear-looking... They look like Ewoks, basically. And the world's overrun by, like, these ants. It's ants. Just, like, giant ants. It was the goriest game ever. But it was, like, fun gore. Like, you could change the color of the gore. Like, it would be rainbow-colored. So when you shoot the ants, it just explode into puddles of rainbows.
That sounds really cool.
I'll tell you what...
It was a great game.
I'll tell you what needs to be on there, or I will boycott I will organize a boycott.
All right, here we go.
Glover?
Derek Beef. Glover.
Glover.
Yeah, it's Glover.
What's Glover?
I've never played Glover. But when Smash came out, I figured Glover was Master Hand.
Right.
Right? Like, that's where I figured, well,
That's
they put Glover in it.
I thought it was Mickey Mouse's hand.
That would have worked, too.
And I was like, he only has 4 fingers.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
It's Glover because
It's Glover.
in some way, guys, aren't we all Glover?
Aren't we all? Shoutouts to you, Donald. Donald Glover.
Earthworm
Danny
Jim
Glover?
3D. It ain't gonna be on there, but I loved Earthworm Jim 3D.
You like 3D?
I love Earthworm
I liked
Jim
1 and
3D.
2.
That's
Yeah.
like
I loved Earthworm Jim 3D. I remember getting it for my birthday. I abandoned all my friends and went to play Earthworm Jim 3D by myself.
Abandoned all my...
Yeah, it was super hard game. I remember the best weapon was a cleaver that you throw, and it was like a boomerang. It would flip out and then come back to you. And it was only good on one enemy, and there were these cows that would like run on 2 legs at you like this. Their udders flopping everywhere, and you throw it, and it would decapitate the cows and fly back, and you'd go boo, and their heads would fly off, and you'd catch the boomerang cleaver. It was super
the
weird.
cleaver ring.
Sounds super violent, but it really wasn't. Really common.
I also want to
It's
see...
just the modern beef industry.
I also want to see Paperboy 64.
Paperboy.
Yeah.
Paperboy 64.
What's that about?
That's about a paperboy.
What do you mean? What?
Literally? I just assumed.
never
Paperboy
played
is,
Paperboy?
is a game. That's actually one that will probably. Oh, never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. That'll probably be on the NES Classic.
Well, the NES Classic is out.
Yeah, right. Was it on the NES Classic?
I don't know.
I don't know if
I do
Paperboy was
know.
on there.
I couldn't tell you.
Tetris.
Oh my gosh, Tetris.
Tetris is probably.
Tetris.
I mean, that would make sense.
I'm just listing
Tetris.
games now.
Tetris.
I really want Doom 64 to be on it. I really want that to be on it.
Again, it's another M-rated game. I don't know if they'll
Oh.
put something like that on there. You know?
That's true. I mean, with Conker's Bad Fur Day and Doom. Oh, Superman.
Superman 64.
Superman 64.
Oh, I'm down for that.
I'd love to play that. That'd be great.
Star Fox.
Oh, yes.
Star Fox.
How we miss Star
probably be
Fox?
on
Star
it.
Fox 64 has to be on.
Not to rewind time too much, but with the with
I was doing it backwards. He was having a seizure.
I was kind of just enjoying it. But Star Fox, didn't Star Fox 2, wasn't that on the PlayStation 1?
No.
Star Fox had something on the PlayStation.
There was no Star Fox on PlayStation.
No, it's a Nintendo IP.
No, they're...
Nope.
All right.
You're wrong, Josh.
I must just be crazy.
He is crazy.
I must just be. All right, disregard. But yeah, Star Fox 64, I'll just be quiet now.
Yeah,
Yes,
so that's
Star Fox
Nintendo 64 Classic.
Yeah? What did you just do?
That's embarrassing.
Anyway,
Anyways, that's the Nintendo 64 Classic.
it helped that I meant to
again,
do
like
that.
we said before, what games would you like to see on the Nintendo 64 Classic? If it comes out.
Yeah.
Woo!
Snap.
Nice.
All right. Getting
Let's hear
sure.
about it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Sorry for the distraction.
Anyways,
Going
You
to
invited me on the show.
You can take lead on this.
yeah,
'cause
I'll take on for it.
Can
Well,
I-
we were
can I
talking about the
introduce it,
Nintendo,
and then you
Nintendo
can
Switch
talk about it?
subscription. The Nintendo Switch subscription
What
Okay.
about that
started
Nintendo?
last week. We talked about it on Geekbeef Gaming Episode 1.
Right.
What do you think about it? I mean, it came out. What's your thoughts on
Well,
the
I'm
subscription?
still riding on the end of the 7-day free trial. I'm not trying to pay for that. Obviously, after the 7 days,
This guy's the guy who is advocating piracy.
I'm not. I do not advocate piracy. I do not condone it. I do not do it. And I can say that with a clear
I'm
conscience.
disappointed.
Now, I have it. I have the subscription. All it can... I don't... Just to be completely honest, I don't know if it's worth it at the moment. I don't know if it's... I mean, again, $20 for a year is not bad at all.
What do you
And you
get?
don't play a lot of games online.
I don't play a lot of games online. I play PC games online. I don't play, like, Switch or anything like that. I don't really do that. What I have done the most is play Super Mario 3 for the Wrong
good
Warp
game.
speedrun. That's, like, the only reason I have the subscription at the moment.
One of those guys.
I'm one of those guys. I'm a speedrunner for that
I
specifically.
like,
But anyway,
I like playing all the levels.
Yeah.
When it
Well,
com-
what's the point of skipping all of them? They're so good. But for speedrunning purposes, yeah, it's
speed-
really
yeah.
cool. Tell us more about that.
no.
No, seriously, tell us more about the speedrunning.
Okay.
thing of
So in Super Mario
Mario
3, there's a wrong warp that's really, really famous. You use like the 2 whistle teleports and stuff like that. Basically, it's the first. I think it's the first emulator.
It's worth a Google.
It's worth a Google. It's Gertha Woogle.
Worth a Google.
Now, I think it's the first
I
emulator.
like to think I can make words appear.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. One
Believe
just
in
appeared
yourself.
now that you have no idea what it is. Classic.
Come on, Derek.
This is the problem they're having with the N64. We don't know if it'll be allowed.
We're trying to keep this clean, man.
PG-13.
I can't control my hands, guys.
It's the first emulator since I think the original game came out that can do the wrong warp the same way. Because I don't think any emulator's been able to do it. It's really cool for speed reading purposes, but that's basically...
So on the original NES, there was a special warp that you could do in Mario 3 that basically, you could beat the game in how fast? Like
the world record, I think, is a little over 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Imagine trying to beat Mario 3 in 3 minutes. It sounds impossible.
I've done it in 20 minutes because I'm really bad at the trick, but...
But no emulator, or no Nintendo console.
I appreciate how much effort you're taking to try to be interested in
No, it is
speedrunning.
interesting. Because
Just speedrunning in particular,
no
because you don't
Nintendo
speedrun
console,
anything. Because you don't speedrun anything.
I don't speedrun anything. I
Them
run some
fighting
Dark
words,
Souls, Dark Souls
Dark
speedruns
Souls.
and stuff, so
Understandable. Okay.
we'll talk about that another time.
Sure.
I respect it. I just don't do it.
Like the Wii had Mario 3 on it, but it didn't have. You could not do this warp in it because it wasn't emulated the proper way. Whereas on the Switch, they've brought it the complete original emulator in that you could run this warp again.
Was it not emulated the proper way, or did they edit?
I was
it
thinking
out?
there was
I'm
a
not
patch.
sure.
I thought that they might have fixed
If
it.
it was patched,
but
yeah.
no one really cares. Regardless, you're able
I
to do
care.
it now on a
Well,
modern
they cared
system.
for some reason that they brought it back for a modern system, which is really cool that they did
No,
that.
absolutely. I totally agree.
But the Nintendo,
Good on you, Nintendo.
the
did something
Nintendo
right.
subscription, it's $20 for the year,
Mm-hmm.
or like $3 a month, or it's $8 for 3 months.
Yep.
Basically, you have to have it now to play first-party Nintendo games online. So if you want to play Mario Kart, if you want to play Splatoon,
Oh, well, that's-
ARMS, anything like that, you have to pay for the subscription to be able to play online, which is okay, because Sony's is $50.
But you don't-
Xbox is like 60.
But
Yeah.
you don't need to pay for Sony's to play games online. You just need it to benefit from the free monthly games.
You can't play online games on Sony. There are certain games you can play on PlayStation without the subscription, Fortnite and such, but you cannot play most PlayStation games online without the subscription. Monster Hunter.
I didn't know that. Well, I am an advocate for local multiplayer becoming more prominent
I agree.
in video games.
I'm in the
so,
same-
I think that's what Nintendo's on.
is that
as
what they're
well.
trying to do? Okay.
With Diablo, you can play 4 players local, which again is awesome.
Oh, and Devil May Cry 5. We could just transition into that.
Not quite yet,
Man, I'm
because
just...
we're
I'm
still on
just
the Nintendo subscription.
I'm
But
just
the
missing the
subscription
ball.
also comes with the NES games. There's about 20 original NES games that you get with a subscription. What disappointed me with this subscription is that there's no update. I was expecting like a system update. Like I'm paying I just paid you $20, and I'm not really going to play the NES games. And I don't feel like I really got much out of it, except that I can continue to play games online, which I don't do a lot.
But now you have to pay for a thing that you were already doing.
So I was expecting like a big system update where we'd have some update to our menu. Like we can organize our games a little better. We might be able to have some type of custom backgrounds or any
That's a good
background.
point.
But there was nothing like that. So I don't feel like I got anything out of it, except we now have
Well,
that NES.
think about it. It did just launch. They could add things to it.
It's just silly that they wouldn't have put more into it to make it more prominent that people paid $20 and
Or
they got
maybe
something out of
get
it.
more out
There
of
will
it.
be
Sure.
such a public outcry that they'll decide, oh, this was a bad idea.
But I don't think Nintendo... I think Nintendo's smart enough... Well, I would hope would be smart enough to just avoid that altogether and just put out what everyone would want.
Yeah.
Like
We all want Nintendo to put out.
the main reason that
More stuff.
the main reason I like the subscription is just I know that my games are safe. I didn't hear what you said.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
going. It's okay.
I know the game. I know my games and my data and everything are safe on the cloud. I know all that.
Right,
That,
it comes
that,
with the cloud now.
That puts peace. That puts my mind at peace. But yeah, the NES games. I feel like if someone already owns an NES, there's not really a reason to get this.
I play these games a million times. I don't need them again on my...
Sure.
Right,
Or someone
Switch,
like me who never got into them. I mean, I got the NES, didn't really play it too much. But now that it's on the Switch, something that I'm already on all the time, it's more likely for me to play it.
And some of these
So
games...
that's not a bad idea.
For people of your generation that want to get into retro games,
And that's their
those
aim.
are expensive.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because
that's their
they're
aim.
hard to find. And
Yeah, that's definitely their aim for it. So it's not bad, but again, in the comments below, let us know what you think about the Super Nintendo Switch Classic subscription.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch subscription.
Also, who would win in a fight, Mega Man or this guy?
Question
Who
of the day.
would win in a fight? Mega Man or Diva from Overwatch.
I don't know Overwatch.
That's okay.
Now you do.
We forgive you. Diva Beef and Mega Beef.
Yes. Mega Man Beef and
Mega Man
Diva
Beef.
Beef. And fight! All right.
Let us know who won in the comments.
Thank you. All right. Also announced this week, they talked some more about Devil May Cry. Have you guys ever played Devil May Cry?
I played the first 2.
I've made the devil cry before, but I've never played the game.
I've heard that the devil may cry.
Yes, he may. Anyways, Devil May Cry 5 was
Also,
announced. There's a lot of trailers out there. You should definitely check those out if you're a fan.
Also, Dante was in Beautiful Joe.
Yes, he was.
So
Original Dante.
that was my exposure to Devil May Cry.
Yeah. It was cool. It was awesome.
was great.
He was in there. That was only on the PS2 version.
PS2.
He was not in the GameCube, the original GameCube.
I didn't know
version.
that. I had the PS2 version.
Yeah. Devil May Cry 5, they went back to the fans, I think, because the last game was DMC, which they went to like a young Dante, and they kind of changed the style of it a little bit.
People didn't like it.
I loved it.
You loved it, okay.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I
I'm a
didn't
huge
play
Devil
it.
May Cry
I heard a lot of people give a negative response.
Right, but there was a lot of positive response too.
Okay.
It was up and down, but I think it was more negative just because when people change things, people don't like it. So
It's different. Means it's worse.
yeah. But this one goes back to Devil May Cry 5, which pulls back Nero from Devil May Cry 4, which again kind of caused some problems because nobody wanted to play as a new character. They wanted more Dante, but they brought in Nero.
Like Metal Gear Solid 2.
But he comes back in this one, and he has like a robotic arm, because in the last one of his arms was like demon-possessed type of thing, and now he got chopped off, and now he has like this robotic
Spoilers.
arm, which throughout the game...
No,
Throughout the game, he has
replaced.
replacement arms, and they showed an arm last week.
Oh no!
There's a trailer where he gets the Mega Man,
And that's how
Buster.
Bionic Commando happened.
the Mega Buster from Mega Man, as one of his arms, and it looks amazing.
Is it literally the Mega
Yeah,
Buster?
it's literally the Mega Man Buster. So you're running around as Dante, or as
Capcom.
Nero, shooting things. You're shooting
Do you
lemons.
sell yours?
No, it's up there.
It's up there. Oh, I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see
you
it.
can see
oh
it
yeah,
up
you
there
can see it.
between Beautiful Joe up on the shelves.
We'll zoom in.
Mega
Just
Buster,
kidding.
yeah,
We
okay.
won't. I don't know. Have fun.
And anyway, so you have the Mega Buster. You can charge it up and blast. It looks awesome.
I was looking
No
for
way.
Dante with the Mega Buster.
Oh.
You pointed up there. I was like, where the heck is
I was
this?
like,
This
no,
sounds awesome.
I knew he had a Buster.
Yeah, but both Dante and Nero will be playable in Devil May Cry 5. They've also announced that it will have multiplayer for 2 to 3 players, which that Devil May Cry has had multiplayer
It's weird
yet.
that
Is it
it's to
local
3.
multiplayer?
I would like
They haven't announced it yet. They said, when they were asked about it, they said wait and see. I'm imagining they'll do something
Probably
like...
both then.
They'll
I
do
would-
something like the Bloody Palace, which in the games was kind of a horde mode fight. They'd send waves and waves of enemies from the game at you, and you just fight them and try to get the best time, upload your score to the internet.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's going to be something like that, but with up to 3 players. Hopefully Trish and Lady are playable in it
I
as
feel
well.
like it'll be like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, which was
Or it could be like
disappointing
that.
for me.
I love the Assassin's
Do you?
Creed.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed multiplayer. There was 2 different versions. There was like a multiplayer where you fight each other, but then there was another one where there was co-op where you'd go throughout a level.
I didn't play the co-op.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think that they'll do a co-op for Devil May Cry?
That's what we want to know. We
I
want to know
like
if it's going to be a
I
co-op.
think
or if it
I
will
like
be
co-op
a-
story, co-op campaign.
Co-op
Right.
campaigns? I don't think there are enough in this day and age. I don't think there are enough co-op multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing with Destiny. Destiny was huge because it brought a big co-op thing, which felt like the original Halo, because you could play through Halo.
Sure.
Or Halo 3 had 4-player co-op, and we love that. And Destiny 2, Destiny 1 and 2 have that, but only for 3 players. I've always wanted that 4th player to be able to be added into Destiny.
Right.
But what will Devil
Oh,
May
I
Cry be?
suppose that's
What's your
true.
opinion on it? Would you like to see it as a co-op campaign, or just like a Bloody Palace horde mode brawl type of thing? Let us know in the comments. What else happened this week? Oh, one other thing with Devil May Cry 5. It'll have microtransactions, but this will be different than anything you've heard before, okay?
Okay.
You can pay real-life money to buy the in-game currency of red orbs to upgrade your character. Which is absolutely ridiculous.
That sounds awful.
But I get it, because the Devil May Cry games are known...
That sounds awful.
That sounds
The Devil May
awful.
Cry games are known to be absolutely hard. Like, ridiculously hard that people get stuck and they can't play through it. So they're like, we're going to take this as an opportunity to steal your money.
So make the game super hard. You have to pay to beat it.
Yeah,
pay to
That's
win.
a terrible
It's
thing.
pay to win, but not online.
That's terrible.
it is. It's absolutely pay to win.
Yeah.
So you're paying to get the in-game currency
I'm not buying this game.
to be able to upgrade your character.
I'm not paying real currency.
It's
for,
absolutely horrible.
for game currency.
It's
I'm not doing
ridiculous. Yeah, I would never do it, but I play these games and I'm good at them.
I think you're going to do it.
I'm not good at
Spend the
them.
life money on Devil May Cry.
I would
I beat
rather-
Devil May Cry 3 and 4 on the hardest difficulties. Hell or hell mode.
Well, so now I know going into it that I'm not going to be able to, because I'm terrible at video games, I'm not going to be able to beat it. Might as well not play it, not going to buy it.
This guy's not going to play it. Maybe you should do something about that, Capcom. Maybe
Maybe.
give away a free little tidbit here and there. Of
Sponsor us. Let us know.
I'll review it and tell people to buy it.
There you
Not
go.
a sponsor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was just something extra to add to it. Have fun with that one. Let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think.
Next was announced Death Stranding.
Hideo Kojima.
I don't know about this one.
Okay. Hideo Kojima
Kojima.
Norman Fetus.
created the Metal Gear Solid franchise, the series, which Metal Gear Solid, you've played Metal Gear Solid.
I have, obviously. Yes.
And I love the Metal Gears. Hideo Kojima's an absolute genius when it comes to video games and story. Like,
Who are
sometimes
the
they're crazy. How did you know
that?
That's what, yeah, anyways.
It's from the game.
Oh, they know.
They know.
Who are the
This guy
Patriots.
doesn't know.
Anyways, so Hideo Kojima. Okay, here's
They
how
got
this
me.
started. Hideo Kojima was working with Guillermo
Guillermo
Erase the
del Toro.
L's from your mind.
Guillermo del Toro
Or Guillermo.
and Kojima were working on a new Silent Hill game
PT.
on
Okay.
PS4.
Known as PT.
They released a demo called PT,
I played that demo.
and it was
I did too,
super
actually.
freaky, horrifying.
I don't
Yeah.
like horror games, so...
Yeah. And it was super horrifying. It had, what's his name from The Walking Dead?
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus starred in the
Reedus.
game.
I
Yep.
didn't know that.
Well, once Konami had a falling out with Hideo Kojima, they canceled the new Silent Hill game. Silent Hills is what it was called.
Right.
Well, Kojima and Del Toro stayed in touch, and they also stayed in touch with Norman Reedus.
Right.
So the three of them got together, and they were like, Kojima started a new game company, and they got together and said, let's make a new game. So that's where Death Stranding comes into place.
Yeah.
Weirdest looking game.
It starts out
Super Kojima
It
looking.
starts. Have you seen the trailer?
It's not.
It
This
starts.
is the first I've heard of it.
It starts out with this newborn.
It's really weird.
For the trailer, if you've seen the trailer, Norman Reedus. I like to call him Norman Fetus. You know,
And it makes sense for
It
this
makes
game.
sense because
we can
there's-
call it Norman's fetus.
Norman's
Do you
fetus.
just call him that just in general?
There is a fetus in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the trailer.
But did you call him Norman Fetus before this?
Yes, because Reedus and Fetus rhyme.
We've done
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yes, that is a thing.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, a picture of Norman Fetus is going up right now. It's gonna be great. All right. I want to know what that's about. I'm super, super curious about why there's just this child. Why there's a fetus. Is it a fetus? Is it past?
Well,
that
it's like
stage?
Well,
it's
it's a
connected to
newborn.
him through an umbilical cord, which is weird because he's a dude. But it's like they have some kind of type
Well-
of connection, which is like creating something for the game.
There was this Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yes.
movie.
Yes, there was.
I don't know. I didn't get Arnie for this.
And yeah, it's just a interesting looking game. They released a new trailer for it this week with this dude with the gold mask. It looked amazing. It looked like, honestly, it looked like the beginning of a boss fight in this trailer, which looked like the beginning of a boss fight in every Metal Gear Solid game. Some fun quips back and forth between the characters. It was really cool. The game looks really fantastic, and with the people working on it, it's going to be different.
Isn't
Vilgax?
that- No, the bad.
Oh, yeah. Mads Mikkelsen is also in the game. He is going to be what we're thinking the main villain of the game. Mads Mikkelsen is awesome. You know Mads Mikkelsen, right?
I don't.
He played Hannibal
He has not
on the
I have not.
Hannibal
I have
TV
not.
show.
in the show. Yeah,
And he was in Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue
and
One.
Doctor
Who
Strange.
did he play?
And Doctor
He was in
Strange.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
Who did he play?
I don't know Rogue One, but
In Rogue One, he was
Doctor
the one that
Strange,
built
he's the
the
bad
Death
guy.
Star. In
Oh.
Doctor Strange, he's the main bad guy in Doctor Strange. He's just
Oh.
a bad guy looking guy.
I
He
know
was
who
in
that
Casino
is.
He's
Royale.
wonderful. He's a
as the dude
wonderful
with the bloody
man.
eye.
Okay.
And he's beautiful.
oh, that's right. He was.
He is beautiful. He is sweet. Just cause he looks really scary doesn't mean that he is, so give him a break. Stop making him a bad guy and make him a good guy for once.
I want to see him play a hero. I would like that.
Yeah.
He kind of did in Rogue One.
Yeah, he wasn't really bad. But that was the point, is they needed a guy that looked like he was a bad guy.
Sure, I
but
guess.
make him a good guy. In the
What was his name? Jyn Erso? Or, Galen.
Galen Erso.
Galen Erso. That was his name. Sorry. Now I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
he's in the game as well. And again, just they have
That's
this
awesome.
amazing,
That's like a great cast.
Yeah.
Him and Norman Reedus.
They have several other famous people. I can't think of their names right now. Maybe I'll put them up on the screen right here.
It'll be awkward.
And one right here.
It'll be awkward if we don't.
Right there.
One behind my head.
Yeah, so check that out. Check out the trailers if you haven't seen them. It's coming out to be pretty awesome looking game.
Yeah. I'll probably end up getting it.
Yeah,
Because I don't know anything about it, and
This one I'm excited
sometimes
about.
I love get there. Sometimes
excited about it.
Sometimes I don't know anything about a game, but it looks really good, and so I'll get it. That's not the case for a lot of things. Some things are just overhyped, but I'm gonna get this probably. Maybe I don't know how the story's gonna be out yet, but we'll figure it out. Hey, you should.
Objection!
Almost hit the monitor.
That was my attempt
Can we
at
move
the
on?
transition.
Oh,
The
yes.
thing
See?
is- what do you-
Wait. Do it again.
Do it again.
Objection!
What are you interested in? Next on the list?
Phoenix Wright trilogy has been
Remix?
announced for PS4
Everything.
for everything.
Yeah.
PS4, Xbone, Switch,
And,
PC, Steam.
Phoenix Wright is to date the only DS game I have played.
Oh,
Really?
Yep.
wow.
An amazing series.
It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful, and I just actually it was so coincidental that this news came up because I just watched this video on YouTube that is like an actual defense attorney reacting to the first episode of the anime.
Oh, no way.
And like seeing all the court proceedings and being like, this is terrible. He doesn't know anything going into this trial. Like, this is not how court works. I was like, but it's wonderful.
I love those shows. To me, in a different kind of vein, it seems kind of like your show, your podcast, because it's taking a fictional thing and putting realism to it.
Yeah, and we do that.
But just that thing in particular, how you take unrealistic situations and apply kind of modern science,
Yeah.
kind of to it.
Another thing we're talking about, I think, in the upcoming episode is why does Godzilla move so slow?
Wow.
And
Why does
we-
Godzilla move so slow? Tune in.
A surprise hint.
Tune in.
Yeah.
What's your website again?
Anyway,
So
so
the website is VaguelyScientific.com.
Go there.
Go there.
Yeah,
Wait till after you watch this, but go ahead.
Phoenix Wright trilogy is made up of the first 3 Phoenix Wright games. There's been more than just 3.
There's been
some
a
spin-offs like
ton
Apollo
now.
Justice.
Here's one that I would love them to bring to the United States is Phoenix Wright meets Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it because Sherlock Holmes is not in the public domain outside of England.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
yeah.
Well, that sucks.
That's why we don't have
Apologies from the U.S.
yeah.
across the
Yeah.
pond.
That would be an awesome game, though.
But Phoenix Wright
wanna
meets
play it.
Sherlock Holmes, and I want to play it.
Yeah, but the original trilogy... I have a funny story with the original one. I got jury duty one time.
Yeah.
And it went on for like 5 days, and they're like, when you're here... Don't watch any lawyer movies. Don't get involved with anything like
they
that.
told you
'Cause-
this?
Yeah, they told you. So,
Oh,
because
wow.
you don't want it to affect your judgment throughout the procedure.
Wow,
and this
that's
was like
interesting.
this was an assault and battery thing. So we were judging
Okay.
Oh,
as a
geez.
jury. We were important to what we had to do this. So the whole time I'm like getting really into it. The lawyers are yelling back at each other. It was intense, but it was awesome. It was like Phoenix Wright. The whole time I'm on
was
my
like
phone
Phoenix
because
Wright.
Phoenix Wright trilogy is on iOS
You
and
were,
Android.
you were in the jury. You were.
Oh,
in,
every time we were waiting in the
Looking
room,
down.
I was totally on my phone the time playing Phoenix Ace Attorney, and I was getting so into it. I'd go back into the court, we're sitting there, I'm like, yeah, come on!
Wow,
It
that's
was
hilarious.
And I got to read all the judgments and everything. It was a great experience.
I would have been thrown out of the juries because I would have been like, hold it!
Objection.
Take that! And Devo wins.
Yeah,
That's the answer. You're
Well,
correct.
no, I think Mega Man just lost to Phoenix Wright.
He did.
That's right. I'm sure there's a skin for
So Phoenix Wright wins.
Yes.
That was
it. Now,
What was his name?
Edgeworth.
Edgeworth.
Miles Edgeworth.
you guys should say it again.
So what do you guys think about Phoenix Wright?
What,
Let
Miles
us know. It's going to be awesome. More Phoenix Wright the better, right?
They need to make more games.
Replay the
That's
old
all.
games. You probably never played Phoenix Wright? You
The
absolutely
closest thing to a connection to Phoenix Wright I have is a skin on 20XX.
Yeah, he's also in MVC3, I think.
Yes, that was awesome.
Oh, Capcom
You like
Marvel
poke
versus
people in the eye.
Capcom Marvel versus
Capcom Marvel
the third.
That's what I said. The 7th.
New Age of Hero. No, not New Age.
No,
of
I haven't.
What's the third one?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's basically like a point-and-click adventure game.
So that's everything with Phoenix Wright. Next on the list is it's Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The beta had been released. The Battle Royale. Everyone's going Battle Royale.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is,
I'm sorry.
it's cool.
No, you don't
this,
know
This is
anything
the
about this,
first.
I do not. I'm not a first-person shooter person.
This is like the first.
Or a modern gamer.
I've played some modern games, but yeah,
Not-
mostly not. Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
This is
not
the first
like
Call of
bad
Duty.
games like Call of Duty. I'm sorry.
This is the first game made by like a big
Treyarch.
company to make
Well, it's
a
not
battle
Treyarch. What am I
royale
talking
mode. We know Battlefield 5 has a battle royale mode coming out too,
Mm-hmm.
but they released the beta for Black Ops 4, and it was really good, and it was a cool community. Going into it, you get online, you connect with your team, you get dropped into the world same as other
PUBG,
battle royale modes,
Fortnite,
PUBG, but the world is made up of different Call of Duty multiplayer maps, which is really cool.
That was a really cool aspect of it.
Yeah, so you could have Nuketown up here in this random island area. You have a whole bunch of other Call of Duty multiplayer maps. It was really cool to see.
They're fine.
And I liked it because the community was really cool. So we went into it. Almost everyone we played with had microphones.
That's true.
And they were in chat. And I don't see that a lot in video games anymore.
Sure. Well,
Like Fortnite and PUBG I've played, but it's not often that I find a group with people that have headphones on.
Well, it's kind of interesting because it's a good point. But I mean, both. Well, Fortnite on everything except. Oh well, that's never mind. Everything. What is that? Every community, every like battle royale or online gaming community, I feel like is like that at the start because everyone is like it's this new thing. No one really knows anything, and everyone's getting connected. So I know PUBG was like that. PUBG actually is still like that. Fortnite, no one talks. But then I also queue up by myself. So,
That's because nobody wants to talk in
I can
PUBG
tell you-
because it's all a bunch of little kids. And you're like,
no, that's Fortnite.
I played Call
did
of
I say
Duty.
PUBG?
Yes.
I meant Fortnite.
You said PUBG. I played Call of Duty Black Ops. I don't know if it was the first one. I think it was the first one.
First one was awesome.
First one.
When it
Story
first came out, I was
we
in
talked
college, and I had friends that lived in a townhouse in college, and they would all sit with their headphones and play, and I would visit them, and we would play, and I'd sit as a guest on the bed with the guy who owned it because I didn't live in the townhouse, and he had headphones. He had a headset.
He had the headphones.
He had a headphone.
And they would talk to each other, but they were all people I knew, so I was sitting there playing the game, and I would shout, "Hey, I'm here too!" and I would have conversations that way. That's
Classic.
it. That's my whole story.
I like that story.
That was worth our time.
Tell us what you think about Derek's story in the
I'm
comments
sorry.
below.
I'm sorry, there's so many Daves that we know. Derek,
None of them are here, though.
they're all D's to me.
Oh, D.
Yo!
Okay.
Whoa, D.
Now, in comparison,
It's white.
Now, I really, really like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I do not hate Fortnite anymore. So I saw this post online that said, remember those older kids when you were younger and you played
I
Pokemon?
can't believe you ever hated Fortnite. It's going to be in the comments.
Okay. That made fun
I'm
of...
just going to write it.
I'm going to write it.
There's a post I saw. And it said, do you remember the older kids that would make fun of you for playing Pokemon? That's you to people that play Fortnite. And I felt so convicted about it because I wouldn't make fun of
Shame
any.
on you.
I wouldn't make fun
of people.
I wouldn't, and I don't. And I
You
didn't.
like what you like.
I wouldn't make fun of it, but in my mind, I was like, Fortnite is such a silly game. It's way more cartoonish than PUBG and all stuff. I don't dislike Fortnite anymore. I play it every once in a while, mostly just with friends.
Okay, but how do you
And
feel...
so PUBG, in my opinion, I just like the style of it. It's more realistic in visuals. I'm not saying it's superior in any way to Fortnite. It's just what I prefer. Okay. Let me know what you prefer in the comments. PUBG, Fortnite, or the new Battle Royale game from Call of Duty.
But how do you feel about those losers that play Pokemon?
Well, I played Bakugan when
we all play Pokemon.
We all play Pokemon.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum with Fortnite and PUBG.
Sure. And I don't understand.
I have no interest at all in PUBG.
And I don't understand.
I play I have no interest at all in it.
Well,
because when I first played Fortnite, it had the building mechanics, which I love building. I love Minecraft. I love Legos.
Does it not have that anymore?
And Fortnite has
it does.
building.
PUBG does not. He's comparing PUBG to Fortnite.
Okay.
And for me, that made it more interesting and created a whole new dynamic to it. Again, it's much less realistic and creates a much more chaotic universe, I think. So it depends on what you like. I don't think there's anything wrong with PUBG. I have no interest in playing it. But again, you go to Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and it's on the more realistic spectrum, and I think I prefer it over both of them. So
really,
it's just
wow, okay, that's really interesting. When I first played Fortnite, and I saw
Josh thinks that's
the building
really interesting.
When I saw the building mechanic of Fortnite, I thought it was the stupidest thing. Still think it's really stupid because someone's shooting at you. I'll just build a fort. Sorry, I'm going Steve's route.
Yeah, but like the
I'll just build a fort and I don't have to hide. I don't have to think about anything. I can just build it. Which I will be completely honest. Building in its own, in itself, is a really hard tactic to get down and to execute well. Props to you guys that take time to do it. Good for you.
Right, but a lot of the things you build don't stay together real well. Like once you start shooting at them, they start falling apart pretty quick. So it's not hard to get past that building mechanic.
That's not true, because the whole meta of the game is in order to beat someone that's good at building, you have to get good at building. That's silly to me. It's like taking.
I get into it, but I haven't built. The first match I played of Fortnite, I finished.
I know.
Do you know how much noise you just put in there?
The first match of Fortnite that I played, I won by myself with not really any building because I didn't know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. But I just snuck around, ended up with the last dude, and he had a whole building going on, and I kind of just walked in and shot the dude, and I won. So that was my take on Fortnite. It was cool, but I got more involved later on and did more building. But from what I see, it doesn't seem like those buildings last a long time if you have decent weaponry once you get to that point.
Sure.
Weaponry.
And weaponry is a word. You're good. Weaponry. You're good at online games. I'm sorry. I don't want to feel
it's
like
having a lot of weapers.
I don't want to feel like you're being excluded at all.
No, I'm doing visual gags while you guys are talking.
You're good at online games. You're good at playing against other.
But I'm not. That's the thing is,
you're decent. You're better than the average person.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But the thing is that I feel like you just, and this isn't. Listen. I feel like part of the only reason that you were able to even win that was just, well, one, luck, and then two, just circumstantially who you were fighting against. Again, you're not bad at games.
Maybe he was a child too. So
regardless, you can have a child that's really good. I'm gonna punch you in your barely scientific face.
Vaguely scientific.
Vaguely scientific. I'm not. That was really rude, and that's totally a joke. I apologize. I love you. But I guess I don't really have much to say about it besides that. Fortnite is not a bad game. PUBG is not a bad game.
They're all good for their own points. That's the thing is, Black Ops 4 costs money. So you have to buy the game to be able to play it.
The beta is free. The beta is free. But that's a really good point. Fortnite is totally free. That's a huge selling point.
I'd like to hear from the people, what is a bad game? What's your least favorite game?
It's like someone that watches a lot of movies. There's no bad movie. Just
there are bad
movies. And there's bad games.
Well, listen, there's no bad movies, just how people perceive them, and then I tell them to go watch a DC movie. Or current DC, which you can check out Geekbeef episode 4 for that. Or is it episode 3? Going back to...
We talk about stuff.
We do. Check us all out. In Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I played the Battle Royale, and I preferred Fortnite and PUBG over it. I didn't like it very much. And it was just possibly because I haven't played a Call of Duty game in years, and when I did, they were always on console. So to me, it just feels like a console
for you,
game.
You just need more time to adapt to it. Well, the same way we did with Fortnite. Like, you got into it, you got better at it, which made you like it more, but again, you still prefer PUBG. Everyone's going to prefer one of these games over the other.
That's true.
But they're ultimately going to play whatever their friends are playing.
Right.
So there's a huge Call of Duty community that's going to play together, and the Fortnite community is going to stay together, and the PUBG community is going to stay together.
Right.
And then there's the Battlefield 5 community that's going to stay together. You know?
Now, I've heard some of my friends... I've never played a Battlefield game. I've heard it's pretty good, depending on which one you play. But some people, some of my friends, didn't like the Call of Duty game so much, the Battle Royale, but they're really interested in the Battlefield 5. Now, there's no beta out for that, right?
There was.
There was, and it's not out anymore. Is even the Call of Duty beta still out?
No, it's ended.
It's ended, okay. Yeah. So that's that. They'll make finalizations, and then we'll just have to see what happens with that. But...
yeah. I think that's all we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to our gaming session?
Derek Beef.
I'm good.
Derek Beef.
Cool.
From VaguelyScientific.
Yeah, so this is Derek Beef from VaguelyScientific. Check out their podcast. Again, it's on everything he said that was before.
Yeah.
We'll put some little things up here that'll say what it's going to be on.
It's on all those things. It's on podcast stuff. That's... like,
yeah, so...
podcast stuff, yeah. VaguelyScientific.com.
Yeah, this is Geek Beef Gaming Episode 4. Again, check out our newest episode of Normal Geek Beef Entertainment.
Episode 2.
Did I say 4?
You said 4.
I think it's because we were just talking
I
about...
just say a lot of
I think it's 'cause we were
words.
talking about Black Ops 4, probably.
No, it was probably something else completely.
Yeah.
This is Geek Beef Gaming Episode 2.
This is an
Check out our latest episode of Geek Beef Entertainment. Also, you can check us out on Facebook, check us out on YouTube.
Check us out on Instagram.
Instagrams.
At GeekBeef.
At Geek Beef.
That's it.
Geek.
That's our tag.
I thought you were going to say more than that.
No, it's not a URL or anything. It's just at GeekBeef on
At
Instagram.
Geekbeef. Okay.
Yeah. So this is Geek Beef This is Geek Beef Gaming. I'm Andy Beef.
I'm Josh Beef.
I'm Derek.
And this is Geek,
Geek
Beef.
Beef. Be our weekend crag.
Crackers.